Today I'm climbing to the top of Paris, not just for the view, but to eat at a 2 Michelin star restaurant located on the second level of the Eiffel Tower, at a height of about 125 meters above the ground. It's called Le Jules Verne. When a place is this hyped up, the internet always has something to say, and it's not always pretty. Take a look at the reviews. Food and ambience is out of this world. This was once in a lifetime experience for me and my family, and it was well worth the money spent. Alright, sounds good so far. But then another review says this: I had better food at the restaurant 3-4 blocks from the Eiffel. Other guests are seated super close to you, nothing intimate about it. Confusing, right? Here is another one. We were greeted with warmth and professionalism by the exceptional staff. Every dish is a masterpiece, artfully presented and bursting with flavor. We can't wait to return. And then Peter doesn't hold back, rates it 1 star and says, Restaurant Jules Verne did not match a reputation of a 2-star Michelin restaurant. It felt more like a tourist trap than a fine dining experience. So I guess I will have to find out for myself. We landed in Paris, and who else would I have by my side for this trip but my wife? Because if you are going to eat lunch at the most iconic romantic spot in the world, you better bring your better half. We arrive to the Eiffel Tower and get in line. Each corner of the tower has a lift system. On the east and west, double-decker elevators bring visitors to the first and second floors. In the south pillar, there are 2 lifts, one for staff and one exclusively for guests of Le Jules Verne. It even comes with a lift attendant, just like the good old days. It keeps going and going. I have to say, we are insanely high up. You don't realize how far it is until you are up here. On arrival, the first thing we notice, of course, is that view. Paris laid out beneath us like a work of art. The only thing that could make this moment even better: champagne. They have 3 types loaded in the trolley and ready to go. As we soak it in, we are presented with art pieces that pay tribute to writer Jules Verne. The French writer, born in 1828, is famous for pioneering the science fiction genre with books like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Journey to the Center of the Earth. Through his books, Verne predicted scientific breakthroughs like the helicopter, the submarine and the space shuttle. Although these days I relate more to Around the World in 80 Days. My favorite Jules Verne book growing up was The Mysterious Island. After a few moments with these cool porcelain pieces, head waiter Fabiola arrives. She presents our appetizer, a tartlet of smoked eggplant caviar and roasted tomato. Nice flavors here, but the texture was a bit watery. Still, overall, it's a good opener. The cutlery and porcelain plates are high quality, but the glasses rather reflect an economical choice. It was strange to see these affordable glasses next to the expensive porcelain plates and the beautiful Riedel decanter. The equipment is under heavy use and it's starting to show signs of wear. For me, I find the interior design a bit boring, but who cares about the interior when you have this view? Fabiola is back with menus. For lunch, we can choose from 2 fixed-course menus.
So here, Madame Monsieur, on the left side, you're going to have the views of Paris. There's going to be a menu in 3 courses. On the other side here, you have our tasting menu, the Extraordinary Voyage.
We are not super hungry, so we take the 5-course option for 290 euros. I could sit here for hours, but something grabs my attention other than my lovely wife. It's the wine list. At Le Jules Verne, they work with 400 different labels. Storing wine is just one of the many challenges they face running a Michelin star restaurant way up here. So they keep only 1 or 2 bottles of each wine. As head sommelier Contan explains.
We have one of the big part of the cellar, which is a bit under 19,000 bottles, which is hidden under the Champ de Mars in a beautiful yet very secret area where we have most of our wine, and we have some of our top wines as well hidden in another cellar somewhere in Paris. But it is an operation where everything which is sold one day has to be ordered in the evening and then comes back up by night.
For wine pairing, there is only one. It's designed to satisfy their most frequent visitors, tourists. Although we are tourists too, I pass on the pairing and order a special bottle. A 2017 Corton Charlemagne Grand Cru from Antonin Guyon. A bread service arrives next and passes the crunch test with flying colors. The inside texture is also superb and it goes perfect with our amuse-bouche. It's a traditional Spanish cold tomato soup made with tomato, garlic and olive oil. And next to it, we have cherry tomatoes preserved with a sabayon of smoked butter and wild garlic oil. The presentation is simple and clean, and the flavors, delicious. I ate both with great pleasure. My cordon is here, but the sommelier is quick to remind me of his limited inventory.
If it's too good, I don't have a second one.
I like this guy. Professional and helpful, but also funny and likable. Le Jules Verne has been giving guests an experience to remember since 1983. They earned a Michelin star under chef Louis Grondard in the 80s, again under chef Alain Rex in the 90s, and finally chef Alain Ducasse in the 2000s. After 10 years, Ducasse lost the opportunity to run the restaurant, and they lost their Michelin star. Enter chef Frédéric Anton, a powerhouse in French cuisine, with 3 stars at Le Pré Catalan and holder of the prestigious Meilleur Ouvrier de France title. He stepped in to restore Le Jules Verne's glory. By 2019, he earned back their star, and in 2024 he helped them add a second. Our first course is served. Lobster with a light foam of vanilla and green apple with olive oil in the center.
The idea is to take the spoon and to mix the 3 elements together.
It looks like a coffee latte on the side. It's actually crab soup with a little bit of cider and caviar on top. The lobster dish was super playful with all of its layers. It had a nice acidity that worked nicely with the sweetness of the lobster. Nice presentation too. The soup was classic, with intense deep flavors that were amplified by the salt and umami of the caviar, which created a beautiful contrast with the lobster dish. I really liked it. Over the years, Le Jules Verne has appeared in many movies and TV series. Perhaps the most famous is from 1985's A View to a Kill. It's Sir Roger Moore's final appearance as James Bond. In the film, Bond's meal at Le Jules Verne is interrupted, and one of the most famous chase scenes of all time begins here. If Emily in Paris is more your speed, check out the first episode of Season 3. The next course is plated tableside. It's a buckwheat galette with 36-month Comté cheese next to gyro mushrooms in a white wine sauce made with vengeance. Galette is a term in French cuisine for various types of flat crusty cakes. And here, a tortellini filled with mushrooms and hazelnut. The galette was the clear winner of the two. It was ultra rich thanks to the aged Comté. The mushrooms really complemented it well. I found the tortellini to be okay. What's coming up? One of the chef's signature dishes. Langoustine served 2 ways.
This is the langoustine tail roasted with a Parmesan cheese emulsion, and you have a ravioli with beetroot puree, langoustine ravioli, beet jelly. That's the beautiful red color that you can see. It's a sauce with langoustine, mushrooms, shrimps, mussels, a little bit, and white wine, and also some truffle.
Unfortunately, it doesn't quite deliver. Once I got into it, the ravioli had a weird, almost ammonia-like smell. The smell was disturbing and I didn't finish it. The tail of the langoustine, however, was a different story. The thickness of the sauce wasn't for me, but it was delicious and left me wanting more. We have great news for you. When we reach 500,000 subscribers, we will have another insane giveaway. We are still a little far from there, but you all keep saying that the channel deserves more subscribers. You said it, not me. But the truth is, 66% of you watch our videos without subscribing. So if you guys hit that subscribe button, we can reach that goal much faster. Let's get there together. Details coming soon. With the main course coming up next, they replace our knives. These are high quality with nice attention to detail. For the main course, the sommelier offers a recommendation for red wine, a 2020 Premier Cru from Côte de Beaune in Burgundy. It's a fabulous Pinot Noir from producer Domaine de Croix. Before the main course arrives, I take the opportunity to go for a quick washroom break. But it turns out to be not so quick. I get stuck in the line. There are 80 people here, but only 2 washrooms. Another challenge of running a restaurant way up here. I make it back to my table just in time for the presentation. It's lamb confit inside pomme boulanger with caramelized onion and covered in a stew with peas and jus from the lamb. Pomme boulanger, or baker's potatoes, is a traditional dish of potato and onion, slow-cooked in juices. The construction of this course is interesting, but in terms of presentation, this is not a 2 Michelin star main dish in my opinion. Getting into it, the texture isn't either. Everything is slow cooked, so all the ingredients are super soft. And not much in the way of texture at all. And in this dish, the meat totally takes a backseat to the other ingredients. As a main course, I was expecting more. When I was asked how I liked the lamb dish, I shared my feedback. As a result, they offered to bring me a different main course, which turned out to be this. Veal sweetbread. It's caramelized with capers and croutons, with a buttery Grenoble sauce and jus gras. On the side is a mini version of the same dish, topped with caviar. And in the middle, a generous helping of mashed potatoes. All I can say is nice save. I'm a huge fan of sweetbread, and this was good. Dessert is next.
Here it's our chocolate in 2 different temperatures.
Something warm and something cold.
It's recommended to start with a warm and then you switch it to cold.
In the bowl is a warm chocolate soufflé and the stick is cacao ice cream. I love the concept and this soufflé is really good. We take a look around the restaurant and we pass by the massive pulleys used in the lift system. Although the old hydraulic system was replaced by electric motors years ago, a lot of this machinery is original. It's amazing that this century-old technology is still in use. The old pulleys have their own romance. But there is something here that's even more romantic. We are looking at Trocadero Park, one of the top sites in the world to get engaged. Each year, an estimated 7,000 to 10,000 guys pop the question right there, with a shot of the Eiffel Tower in the background. Do you want to witness the romance? Hang around there for a couple of hours. Next, we meet Abdu, who presents our last bite. A cherry cheese tartlet and a cream puff with chocolate verjuice and pine nut. We take our time and soak in the moment, knowing that this experience will soon come to an end. Our total for today is just around 1,400 euros. What can I say about Le Jules Verne? Who do I agree with? If you put a black curtain around the restaurant and block the view, then I would have to say it might not hit the 2-star standard, even though the service was exceptional. They were fantastic. But if we pull back the curtain and see that we are inside the Eiffel Tower, we can start to understand the challenges they must be facing. As I see, there isn't much space, so the kitchen size is probably not optimal. Logistics can be a huge challenge here. There isn't enough space to store everything in the restaurant. Imagine if they sell a nice bottle, they sell everything they have from that label, because they can only store one. They have to restock it from cellars, located kilometers away in different locations. And they have to do this every single day, which is crazy. And there could be plenty of tasks like this. All of these require a huge amount of extra work. This also shows that the people behind this project had to make tremendous compromises to achieve this level. But is it a tourist trap? I don't think so. I didn't feel that this experience was overpriced considering the location. Then overall, if this is a tourist trap, it's the best one in the world. And that does it for this episode. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video, hit that button. See you next time.
You can call me stupid.